Well, thank you, Linda, and good evening, everybody. I think I'm on the other mic. So I think we're going to... here we go. So when I moved into BetaDen this time last year, it had the painters in, the carpet wasn't down, and I was the only person in the room. So I was truly the first person into the BetaDen space, and now you see it as a fully functional accelerator and all the success stories that you're hearing this evening. So a little bit about my background. I'm actually currently on my fourth startup company. I started my first one in 1990, a speech recognition company in 1990 in Sydney in Australia, which grew to be the largest speech recognition company outside of Europe and the USA, with 65 people working for it, $25 million in venture capital invested, and we were doing world first stuff, and that was back in the 1990s, and that was, if you like, the kind of predecessor to Siri. And that had a very interesting departure from this world. It basically fell foul of tech wreck and exploded in midair, and I bought all the technology back for $1. So there you go. So that was one way of rebirthing these types of companies. Then I did a not-for-profit organization in the biometric space. Remember that not-for-profit doesn't mean not for revenue, and that was an interesting exercise in that case. And then I started Araya, which has become one of the leaders in the world in voice biometric technologies, which is a technology that verifies your identity from your voice. So just be careful what you say on the telephone, because we know who you are. So I'm actually from Birmingham originally, even though I spent the last 35 years in Australia one way or another. And I'm actually back here in Malvern in Worcestershire, back looking out at the school I went to as a teenager and the house I grew up as a kid. And if you'd have said to me 18 months ago, you know, you're going to be working back in Malvern opposite the school you went to, looking back at the house you were as a teenager, I would have said, no way, no way, and here I am. So who knows what's around the corner? Who knows? I mean, I only entered a competition and I won Linda. Hey, you know. How lucky can you be? So I'm here to discuss the first two rules, or the first two laws of startups. So remember that startups are just simple ideas coming to life. And so the first law of startups is there are three things you've got to get right in a startup. First, you've got to get the right technology at the right time in the right place. Now, Linda has actually asked me to talk about why Malvern is the right place, why Worcestershire is the right place for this accelerator. And it's a right place because if you're a fintech, you go to London. If you're in automotive technology, you go to Birmingham. But if you're in cybersecurity, you come here. All the big cybersecurity companies are here. It's all about community. It's all about being part of the action. And if you're into cybersecurity, this is the place to be. So that's law number one. That is why Malvern is successful, is because it is a cluster of cybersecurity technologies that are world leaders in what they do. And you can see that through Kinetic, through the various other government agencies that are in this area, in this vicinity, all using cybersecurity technologies. So place, it becomes incredibly important, and that's why these. So the next thing is, why an accelerator? What is it about an accelerator that is so important? And herein comes the second law of startups. In reality, startups are ideas. Ideas are the raw material out of which startups are made. So when you have a startup, all you actually have is an idea. And there's one thing about ideas, and particularly good ideas, is that you can bet your bottom dollar that somebody else has already thought about it. There's a saying in business that if you're on the right track, you're going to get run over. And so the only way to stop yourself from getting run over is to accelerate really hard. And that's why we have an accelerator. It is to put the pedal to the metal, to push these companies as fast and as hard as they will go, so that they go faster to market, they go faster to funding, and they go faster to success. And hopefully they'll be running over some of the competition. So those are the first two laws. That is why Malvern, and that is why an accelerator. Okay, thank you.